this year, my first guest returned to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue as the chief White House correspondent for ABC News. Please welcome Sam Donaldson. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, but let's get one thing straight. When you said to me, hey, you're going to be on with a motley crew, and I said, great, I thought you meant Bill Clinton and the White House staff. I like these guys, too, though.
How's your gig in the Catskills going?
I think they want me to leave. I think they want me to leave the jokes to you. Okay.
No, they don't seem to want that either. No. They'd rather I went into news, actually. That's what our research shows. Let me ask you something.
You want to come on the round table?
I would love to.
Cokester, Cokie Robertson, the George F. Will Incorporated, and the rest of them?
Wait, you call her the Cokester?
I love her. She is the Cokester. She is the smartest lady in that side of the broadcasting business. Now, I know another woman, Diane Sawyer, so I'm not going to say overall. Right. But in this side of the broadcast.
But do you have nicknames for everybody? What's George F. Will?
No,
the Willster?
George F. Will Incorporated. I mean, George he writes columns, he gives speeches, he comes on the television. Right. I think he grows a little something in the backyard once in a while. George,
what the hell was that?
I don't know. It's this show. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I was absolutely sober, and I watched this opening business, and there you are, jumping around with all the animals. Yeah. And then you give birth to a dog?
Yes. I love you saying that, because you're such a... You saying, and you give birth to a dog?
Well, you know, what could I say if Peter Jennings was questioning me? What happened on the show? And well, they gave birth to a dog, and they jumped around with animals, and Peter would just tune me right out. Yeah, no, he wouldn't like that at all. Let me ask you something very suspicious, all right? 9 months ago, you surprised a lot of people. You returned to the White House, and everyone said, why are you going back? That's a step back, covering the White House. Nothing's going on there. He's been reelected. He's a lame duck president. Nothing's going on. About a week after you go back, the whole Monica Lewinsky thing breaks. I think you knew something. In December, the boss came to me, closed the door. I thought he was going to fire me. Why would the boss walk in unannounced, close the door, and say, I have to talk to you? He said, I want you to go back to the White House. He said, all those things you said. And I said, all those things you said. Lame duck president. I mean, they'll say, what, General Jubilation, T. Cornpone Donaldson, back, you know, retread, cover this thing once more. Right. He said, I'll tell you why. I know this woman. I said, what's her name? She said, Monica Lewinsky. Now, you believe this? No. Well, of course you shouldn't. We have nothing but our credibility, ladies and gentlemen, when we lose that. But I went back. I'd been there 1 week. Did you sense that something was going to break? No, I didn't. I went back and I was there 1 week. And up came Monica Lewinsky, and well, she didn't jump out of the floor. It wasn't like a rock show. Apparently, the little hallway between the Oval Office and, delivering pizza. Yeah. And if you'd believe that, anyway. And it started, and it has not stopped. Well, what do you? I mean, you're a straight arrow, okay? You're a straight ahead guy. How do you, and a respected newsman? How do you talk about some of this stuff? Stains on dresses, cigars, without? You must chuckle occasionally. How do you keep a straight face? It's all so absurd. Well, it may be absurd, but there it is. It's very serious. I mean, we're in the Rose Garden once in a while, preparing for something. You look through the windows into the Oval Office, and there's the President of the United States seated behind the desk, chomping on his cigar. It's true. The image comes to mind, but... aside from that... I also love that you're peeking in the window. Sam Donaldson. Voyeur. Well, it's open. You know, when you're in the Rose Garden, you can see through the French doors and the French windows. That's your story. Tell it to the cops. No. It's not something I say to people, listen, you talk about all these seamy things. Right. Well, don't come to apply to us, the press. Go to the people who did them. Right. It's not your fault. The serious part is I didn't never know Monica. I've never met her to this moment. The President of the United States had what he calls an inappropriate relationship with her, and the rest follows. Right. Well, you do have fun with your job, though, and what I think would be the most fun part is what's become a ritual. The President has all these things he doesn't want to talk about. Right. So there's a ritual where he walks to the helicopter, and you guys stand there as he walks, and you shout questions. What about Monica Lewinsky? Are you going to resign? All these embarrassing questions, and he acts like he can't hear you. Just like Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, exactly. What? And he just acts like he can't. That's an opportunity to shout out anything you want.
Well, once in a while you could...
I'm wearing women's underwear, Mr. President. Just to see if you could get him. Have you ever thought about doing that?
There was a wonderful woman named Mariah McLaughlin, deceased now, unfortunately, worked for CBS News, and she would always yell, "Cabbage, cabbage." Once she got a heck of a good answer, but, you know, recently we walked...
Why was she yelling cabbage? Just to get the president to go, what the hell?
Because no one knows what you're yelling. One time we was walking the helicopter recently, and someone said, you know, what about Monica Lewinsky? Didn't say a thing. And so I yelled out, would you like to come here and talk about Social Security? Save Social Security first. Kept walking. So I yelled at him. I said, I didn't think you'd fall for that. He turned around, he laughed, he grinned.
He can hear everything.
Then last week, he was going to Y Plantation. I give him great credit for helping put together that interim peace agreement. And but it looked very bad. I mean, the boys out there were fighting, as you know.
Netanyahu, Arafat,
that's right,
not getting along.
That's exactly right. And I said to him as he was walking, I said, well, Mr. President, why don't you lock him in the room, throw away the key, and not let him out till they agree? He turned around and he said, with you. I couldn't think of any retort.
That's the way they could get an agreement. Put you in the room with them and they'll just agree.
That was the day for 36 hours. I mean, can you imagine 36 hours in a room with Prime Minister Netanyahu and Yasser Arafat?
I've done that.
You have?
I get around.
We make the peace. It's not like the old days when Anwar Sadat would say to Barbara Walters, Barbara, we make the peace. We make the peace. They made the peace. I think there's going to be peace in the Middle East, but in our lifetime, maybe not.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about criticism. You do get, as we all do in broadcasting, with the exception of me, you get criticism sometimes. You must. You get fan mail that...
Yeah, I do.
Because you have... There's a rough edge to you, and that people must take exception to that. What's the nastiest letter you ever got?
Well, I've got two I love. I put them on my door just to remember that there are people out there who think I'm less than... the most recent one said, you know, is your halo heavy? I mean, do you take it off at night? Could I come pet your halo? Because you know, with the culture, I say, you know, if you break the law, you probably have to go to the slammer, and people resent that in the present circumstance. And secondly, the most obnoxious letter, which I love, was in the 80s. It said, Dear Mr. Donaldson, until this morning, I only thought of you as a loudmouth ignoramus. But now, watching the David Brinkley show, I see you have other despicable qualities as well. It's fun to be discovered.
Yeah, but and you keep that helps you just to look at that, well, I guess. It keeps you humble.
Conan, the fact is, in the 80s when I covered Ronald Reagan, a lot of Democrats thought I was great, said, stay after him, old Bonzo, you know, and the Republicans thought this vicious, commie, simp, mad dog.
Right.
Now I'm getting letters from the same people, only guess what? The Democrats say, this vicious mad dog, and the Republicans just say, aha, with age comes wisdom. You're now finally doing your job. I say to people, I try to be equally vicious to everyone, whether they're Republican or Democrat.
That's a wonderful sentiment.
My wife likes it.
Now, are you going to stick around for Motley Crue? There's a rumor that you're gonna dance behind them as they play.
Let me tell you something. I was at a party the other night. I hate the name drop, but why not do it? I was at a party the other night, and I did 3 dances. First, with my wife, Jan. Terrific. Second, with Lauren Bacall, who I don't know well, but I was honored to dance with.
You don't know? You just grabbed her?
Well, no, but
I've got you now, Miss Bacall.
And third, with my real darling, Madeleine K. Albright, the Secretary of State of the United States. And I mean, we cut a rug.
How does she dance? How's Madeleine Albright?
She's terrific.
What kind of dance? Was she doing this swimming? What was she doing here?
No, we were jumping around, you know. Once in a while, I'd grab her.
We'll get the footage. Get their footage. Of course, you bring us ABC News this week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts on Sundays in the AM and at 2020 on Wednesday. Sam, it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. Thanks for doing it. Great to have you here. Sam Donaldson, everybody. Bob Odenkirk from Mr. Show is coming. We'll be right back. Stick around.